Hi everyone, and welcome to the GuideWell UST Global Innovation Center. My name is Kate Warnock, and I'm delighted to have here as a guest with me today the President of GuideWell, Dr. Rene Lerer. Rene, welcome to the interview.
Morning. Nice to see you here.
Good to see you too. So here we are. We're at day one of the Greater Than Cancer Immersion event, Rene, and I want to know from your perspective, President of GuideWell, why would we host an event like this?
You know, when we think about what our goal is and what we're trying to achieve in GuideWell and in Florida Blue, it's really improving the healthcare of patients. You can't have a discussion about healthcare of patients without understanding the impact that cancer has on the patients, on their families, on the community in which they live, on every aspect of their life. We spend a lot of time trying to understand what are the right medicines and what are the right treatments and where do we go. And we don't spend enough time thinking about the patient and their experience and the patient's experience. This is about taking care of patients. It's not just about medicine. Taking care of patients is much broader than what's the right drug and how quickly can you get it and then what's the next step. It's really a holistic approach to managing these kinds of patients.
You know, and that's so much of what we've heard today. So many of our speakers and our panelists have really been sharing their personal experiences with cancer. I was wondering if there was a moment that has stood out in particular for you today.
Well, as you listen to the stories, you can't help but think how difficult this is. And myself as a cancer survivor as of 2 years ago, it just brings back memories of what I went through and how difficult it was and how alone you feel and how challenging it is to even think about the future, or how do you tell your family, or how do you tell your children, and what do you tell them? So when you listen to the stories, and if you hopefully you don't, but if you do have a personal experience, it just reminds you of how inadequate our system is to really help patients at a time when they need it most, not because they're sick, not because they have a stomach ache or they're throwing up or they're in pain, but because they don't know what life is going to deliver to them next, and they don't know how to cope. And they have to think about things that they've never had to think about before. It's not about taking medicine. That's part of it. And I think what you're hearing today is the pain and the challenge that folks have when they're delivered this diagnosis and when they're being treated. And as you listen to the stories, it's not about the impact of the medicine. It was a little bit about I lost my hair and I was nauseous, but it was about how it changed their life and the life of everyone around them. And how do you cope with that? That's just the story here. It's not what's the latest drug. It's how do we deal with life?
You know, and I think it's remarkable that that's so much of what's translated from Chris Hillier, who really had the whole idea of focusing not on the medicine, not on the technology and the breakthroughs, but on the human side of the cancer journey. So I'm so glad that you as a survivor, and we're so glad that you are back to good health and in the role that you are in, that you're able to really contribute and participate in such this really truly immersive event. So I have one more question for you, Rene.
Okay.
Again, from your perspective as a survivor, as an industry leader, in the health industry, and now as president of GuideWell, what would you perceive is the best opportunity for us to improve the cancer care experience?
You know, I think what we need to do is learn from this experience and learn from the folks who are here as well as others who may participate online. What are the real ideas to treating cancer? You know, the conference is greater than cancer. This is greater than cancer. What can we learn to make this a greater than cancer event in evaluating and treating patients? How do we contribute to the well-being of those patients? And well-being may sound funny, but it's truly well-being of those patients who receive what they perceive, right or wrong, a catastrophic diagnosis. What is our role, and how do we supplement the clinical efforts with the social, psychological, environmental, community efforts? We can bring much more to bear than the direct clinician in really surrounding this patient in the right environment. We have to learn how to do that, and we have to make that available.
Well, Rene, thank you so much for sharing your perspective with us, and I'm so glad that you're in the role that you're in here today with the Greater Than Cancer event, because I know that you're going to bring a lot of great information back to GuideWell from it. So
great.
Thank you for your insights, and thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you.
My name is Kate Warnock. Thank you so much for watching.